Sean Diddy Combs just heard his fate, and the courtroom could barely process it. After years of scandals, leaked videos, and jaw-dropping allegations, the man once called hip-hop's king got 50 months in prison. Not 11 years like prosecutors wanted. Not time served like he hoped. 4 years. And the moment the sentence dropped, gasps filled the room. Some said it was justice. Others called it a joke. But when the judge said good works can't wash away the record, everyone knew. This wasn't mercy, it was a message. Welcome back to A Sip of Drama, where fame meets fallout and no headline stays polished for long. Today we're stepping inside Diddy's sentencing. The apologies, the tears, the family pleas, and the ruling that left even his supporters stunned. Before we dive into the courtroom chaos, hit that like button and subscribe. Because this isn't just another celebrity downfall, this is hip-hop history in real time. All right, let's walk into that courtroom. October 3rd, 2025, Lower Manhattan. The marble floors of the U.S. District Courthouse echo like a heartbeat. The air feels charged. Part fear, part curiosity, part history in the making. Sean Diddy Combs walks in quietly, almost unrecognizable. Gone are the designer suits, the diamond chains, the swagger. Today he's wearing a simple tan sweater, dark pants, and the weight of his empire on his shoulders. He pauses at the defense table, glancing toward the gallery. His mother Janice sitting rigid in the front row, his sister Keisha clutching a tissue, and nearly every one of his children lined up like a wall of hope. Quincy, Justin, Christian, Chance, and the twins Jesse and Delilah. No entourage, no cameras allowed, just silence. Reporters shuffle papers, marshals stand like statues. You can hear someone's pen click, the sound of nerves snapping. Across the aisle, prosecutors arrange their notes. Behind them, a few women sit stiffly, eyes locked on the man who once ruled the charts. Cassie Ventura's name isn't on the witness list this time, but her presence hangs in the air like perfume. Invisible, unmistakable. When Diddy finally sits, he exhales sharply. The room seems to shrink around him. The same man who sold "Can't Nobody Hold Me Down" looks like he's holding on for dear life. And as the judge enters, the hush that falls isn't respect, it's disbelief. Everyone knows something monumental is about to happen. They just don't know if it's justice or mercy. The prosecution wastes no time, no small talk, no sympathy. Assistant U.S. Attorney Morgan Walsh stands, straightens her papers, and starts with a line that slices through the air. For more than a decade, Sean Combs lived above consequence. That ends today. You could feel it. The courtroom straightened up. This wasn't going to be another celebrity slap on the wrist. Walsh's voice stays steady, but her words hit like punches. She walks the judge through years of manipulation. The freak-off parties, the drugs, the control, the intimidation. Every phrase lands heavier than the last. She doesn't call him a mogul or a star. She calls him a manipulator of power. He didn't just participate, she says. He orchestrated. The prosecutor reminds the court that even after the leaked Cassie Ventura video, even after the public apology, Diddy struck again. That, she says, is not remorse. That's danger. Then comes the number everyone's been dreading. 135 months. That's what the government wants. Over 11 years in prison. The crowd murmurs. Someone audibly gasps. Diddy's mother covers her mouth. Walsh looks right at the defense table and says, "If fame becomes a shield from justice, then justice means nothing." The judge doesn't flinch. Diddy doesn't move. But the gallery, frozen. Everyone realizes this isn't just about Diddy anymore. This is about whether celebrity power can still bend a courtroom. And as the prosecutor sits down, her final line echoes like a warning. Your Honor, this sentence isn't about punishing a man. It's about reminding a country that even kings can fall. The silence after that? Deafening. But now, the spotlight shifts. And the defense knows it's their last chance to save him. When it's the defense's turn, the mood shifts. Gone is the sharpness from the prosecution, replaced by quiet urgency. Lead attorney Mark Agnafilo steps forward, his tone calm but pleading. He doesn't start with excuses. He starts with a confession, not from Diddy, but from himself. "This has been one of the most difficult cases of my career," he says, "because it's about a man who had everything and lost it all." He paints a picture of Sean Combs not as a predator, but as a man consumed by addiction, ego, and trauma that never healed. He talks about Diddy's father being murdered when he was 3 years old, about growing up surrounded by violence, about how fame filled the cracks but never fixed the foundation. He was a broken man who built an empire, Agnifilo says, and sometimes success hides the sickness. He lists the charities, the scholarships, the mentorship programs, the free game course Diddy launched at the Metropolitan Detention Center, teaching inmates how to start businesses, manage finances, and rebuild lives. The defense plays an 11-minute video. Diddy hugging his kids, working with students, performing on stage, praying in his cell. It's not slick. It's raw. And for the first time, the mogul looks small, human. They argue that the Mann Act charges, while serious, are not trafficking or racketeering. The jury already said so. This, they say, is not the monster the headlines created. He's not asking to be absolved, Agnifilo says. He's asking for a second chance. The ask? 14 months. Time served. Rehabilitation over retribution. And as he sits down, you can sense it. The room isn't convinced, but it isn't unmoved either. The tension is thick enough to choke on. Because up next comes the one thing no one was ready for. The voices of his children. And then the moment that caught everyone off guard, the defense calls Diddy's children to speak. One by one, they rise. 6 of them, standing together like a front line: Quincy, Justin, Christian, Chance, Jesse, and Delilah. The youngest, Little Love, is home, too young to understand any of this. The courtroom softens instantly. Even the marshals shift their stance. Quincy goes first. His voice cracks but doesn't break. "My dad's not the same man who walked into that jail," he says. "He's learning, he's humbled, and he's not hiding anymore." Justin follows, trying to hold it together. "Prison saved my father's life," he admits. "It forced him to face the parts of himself that fame never let him see." Then Christian, always the showman, now shaking. "To me, he's my superhero," he says. "And superheroes can fall, but they can get back up too." But it's the daughters who truly undo the room. Jesse, Chance, and Delilah speak together, reading from handwritten notes with hearts drawn in the margins. They tell the judge about losing their mother, about bedtime stories and school recitals, about how their dad used to braid their hair on tour buses between shows. "We just need a chance to heal together," Jesse says quietly. For a split second, the courtroom feels less like a legal arena and more like a living room, a broken family trying to put itself back together. Reporters glance at one another. No one types. Even the prosecutor looks down. And sitting there, Diddy is openly crying. No sunglasses to hide behind this time. It's a reminder that the story isn't only about crimes and punishment. It's about consequences that ripple through generations. But as powerful as that moment is, the law doesn't run on emotion. Because next up is the one voice that could change everything. Diddy's own. Before we get to what the judge said, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. You'll want to stay in the loop because when justice meets celebrity power, every update comes with its own plot twist. All right, back to the verdict. When it's finally his turn to speak, Diddy stands. No lawyers, no filters, just a man facing the echo of his own choices. He starts quietly. "I want to say I'm sorry to Cassie Ventura, to Jane, and to all victims of domestic violence." He calls his actions disgusting and shameful, saying they cost him everything: his career, his family, his legacy. Turning toward the gallery, he looks at his mother, then his children. "I failed you," he says, "but I'm not that man anymore." He tells the judge that the past year behind bars stripped him of ego and power, and that it forced him to see who he really was. He asks not for mercy, but for a chance to prove he can change. Then, in a firm voice, he adds the line that matters most. "I take full responsibility for my Mann Act conviction." For a brief moment, it feels like the air stops moving. Everyone's wondering, will it matter? Is this redemption or just another performance? The answer is coming next. Judge Arun Subramanian leans forward, papers in hand. He starts by acknowledging the obvious. Mr. Combs is a cultural icon. He's self-made. He's given back. He's raised a family, Then he drops the line that defines the day. But a history of good works cannot wash away this record. The judge cites massive evidence of abuse, physical, sexual, emotional, mentions the hotel assaults, the freak-off footage, the coercion, the manipulation. He talks about Jane, the woman Diddy assaulted after his public apology video. He says that alone proved the court couldn't trust that it would never happen again. He rejects both extremes, 135 months as more than necessary and time served as not sufficient. Then comes the gavel, 50 months in federal prison, a $500,000 fine. The courtroom gasps. Some expected mercy, others wanted a decade. Nobody predicted 4 years, clean and solid. The judge ends with a message to victims. Violence behind closed doors does not have to stay hidden forever. As marshals prepare to escort him out, Diddy turns to his family. "I'm sorry," he whispers. "I love you." His children cry. His mother clutches her chest. Some in the gallery look stunned, others relieved. The reporters type furiously. Outside, the world reacts instantly. Cassie Ventura's statement hits social media first. Nothing can undo the trauma, but accountability matters. Fans flood timelines, some calling it lenient, others calling it historic. Finally, the system held a celebrity accountable. One tweet reads. Another says, 4 years? That's a slap on the wrist. Brands go silent. Artists who once collaborated with him unfollow. And inside the industry, one quiet realization spreads. If Diddy can fall, anyone can. So, what does 50 months really mean? With time served and federal good behavior credit, experts estimate 2 to 3 years left behind bars. After that, 5 years of supervised release. It's not the end of Sean Combs' story, but it's the most humbling chapter yet. He's gone from mogul to inmate, from bad boy for life to a man stripped of everything except his name. But the question now isn't whether he can rebuild, it's whether the world even wants him to. Because this isn't just about Diddy, it's about fame, power, and the illusion that some people are too big to fall. So, what do you think? Was 4 years enough for accountability, or was it too soft for the damage done? Drop your verdict in the comments below, because when a mogul faces judgment, everyone becomes the jury. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next chapter in Hollywood justice, it's already being written. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and keep sipping.